Can you imagine what it would be like to have swarms of bees all around you, but not be able to get away from them and not be able to see them? Hi, my name is Julie.
My name is Malachi.
For the last 2 years, I've been battling parasites called bird mites that began biting me in my home and eventually chose me as their host and my skin as their home. I'm currently battling these parasites called bird mites, but I'm also battling several other types of parasites in my blood. Every day for us is like fighting a lice or flea infestation in our home, but the end is nowhere near in sight. Malachi and I don't know why the bird mites chose me or chose our home, so this whole situation was very bizarre and strange for us. Bird mites usually choose one chicken among thousands, and as they reproduce, they replicate for the host's DNA specifically, so all of the bird mites that are reproduced go only for the one specific host. Some doctors and researchers say that bird mites choose a host with weaker immune system, so perhaps that's why they chose me. But as far as we know, we have not had contact with birds, we have not had our own pet or any bird nests near our apartment, so the only possibility is that perhaps the birds came on our balcony or with trees above our home, perhaps the bird mites infested our home that way. But so far it's still a very bizarre situation and we're not exactly sure how the bird mites entered our home. Over the last 2 years, we have stayed with many people in their homes. We have taken care of many different animals. We have been very involved in our church, and yet I am the only one who has been infested with the bird mites or been chosen as a host. And so we truly believe that the main species that is the vector of bird mites are birds, and it is very rare for them to choose a human.
Unfortunately, even still today, Julie is bitten essentially every night, sometimes more intensely, sometimes less. Throughout the initial stages of her infestation, it was just constant sleeplessness due to the nocturnal nature of the bird mites. They come alive at night and their bites feel like sharp pinpricks, which are very painful and inhibit sleep. Through trial and error, we eventually found that they live in carpeting, clothing, rugs, anything that is some kind of fiber, considering they live on bird feathers, which are somewhat of a fibrous material. In an effort to escape these, we essentially had to get rid of almost all of our belongings, began hotel hopping, wrapping up our car in plastic tape, and looking for a new place to stay. We found invaluable help in reading blogs, articles, and books of people who had suffered bird mite infestations and overcame them. We also, through our research, found Facebook support groups which were invaluable and encouraging to us. In that group, we found that there is actually a test to determine what is on your skin and what is biting you. It is a DNA test where you send in skin scraping samples to a lab, and that lab can tell you what type of creature is on your skin. Through this test, we found that Julie has the genus Dermanisis, aka the bird mite, on her skin. The results of this test were very encouraging, as the previous year or so without this diagnosis only led people to speculation about what we actually had, whether it be mold or anxiety or something neurological. We had gone to previous doctors who suggested that Julie had an allergy, but they had no definitive way to determine what was on her skin or a path forward to make her immune. Finally, we went to an alternative health practitioner who was able to draw some of Julie's blood and place it under a microscope. She was able to show us that Julie has internal parasites. These are not the same as bird mites live on the surface of the skin.
After much prayer and research, I was able to find a doctor who specializes in treating Lyme, rare diseases, and parasites. We were so thankful to find him because he has such an amazing way of being able to diagnose and is so knowledgeable about rare diseases and rare conditions such as bird mites. Unlike our previous doctors, this doctor was familiar with the DNA test that we had received, a positive for the Dermanisis genus of bird mites, and so we were so blessed that he had success treating 6 patients with bird mites, and they completely found healing through his treatment. The patients that had bird mites that my doctor treated required about 40 to 80 treatments in total to become immune to the bird mites and be completely healed. In the fall, I was able to afford 23 treatments, which included several different bags of IV treatments and IV push, which was definitely very impactful on my system. And so while my immune system is showing signs that it is improving, and many of my blood values have now come up to a normal level, my immune system is still showing that it's in the red and that we still need to continue with treatment, and that has still been heavily attacked. I found from the allergy test that I was allergic to several foods, including chicken, eggs, pea protein, almonds, several different types of nuts. It was really helpful to find what foods I was allergic to in the allergy test, so that way I could eliminate those foods from my diet and allow my immune system to be under less attack from all the negative impacts of eating several foods that you're allergic to. We are hoping that once I'm better, I'll be allergic to less foods. Each treatment takes about 3 to 5 hours and costs about $1,500 to $3,000. So basically, in having 23 treatments, it approximately costs around $50,000 to $60,000. We've attempted to be reimbursed by our insurance company for the treatments, but due to the specialized nature of the treatments, we were not able to be reimbursed.
We fight our current health battle in a number of ways, aside from the IV treatment, diet, and supplementation recommended by our doctor. To begin with, we have to make sure that any carpet in the apartment is covered with plastic tape. This is due to the fact that the mites love and will infest anything that's carpet or rug, and we want to make sure that that surface is cleanable. We have to sleep on air beds because they will infest normal beds, again due to the previously mentioned reason that they love fibers and anything that they can burrow into. We also have to cover the floor with a oil that's called neem. It is an anti-parasitic oil from India that a friend of ours discovered for us and has been working very well to mitigate the mite's ability to bite and to seemingly reproduce. For clothing, we found the only method to rid the clothes of mites is to take your laundry, soak it in the washing machine, bag it while it is still soaked in trash bags, and place those bags in a chest freezer for 48 to 72 hours. You take them out, thaw them, rinse them, then dry them. Even with this method, we found sometimes the mites still survive and bite Julie. Unfortunately for bedding, we use either towels or cotton blankets from Walmart, and these are simply too thick for the freezing method to be effective, as the mites tend to burrow as deep down as they can and somehow survive this, which leads us to being forced to buy new towels or blankets from Walmart fairly consistently. For the car, we finally found out that if we were to have a mite-free car, we needed to rip out all the upholstery in the car, the floors, the ceilings, and even in the trunk. We tape down the seats so that they are a sealed plastic seat with no air gaps or anywhere where the mites can burrow into upholstery. For both the car and the inside of the house, we determined that mites can actually crawl onto the ceiling and the walls, so simply neeming the floor is not enough. We need to spray it with hydrogen peroxide. We use a sprayer in the inside of the apartment about once every 10 days to make sure that there's none living on the walls or on the roof or even on the floor. And for the car, we try to spray it every 2 to 3 days to ensure that there's no mites hiding in any crevice. The most difficult part of Julie having mites is that she is consistently being bitten with sharp pinprick bites, especially at night, which destroys her sleep quality. Our current sleep schedule, due to the amount of cleaning and other things that we have to get done at night, is that we both fall asleep around 1 to 2 a.m. I generally wake up around 8:50 a.m., and Julie, unfortunately, only until around 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., in which case she may be up some due to the airbed being uncomfortable or being bitten by mites, and then she generally will try to get another block of sleep from noon to 2 p.m.
Our hope is that by sharing our story, we will be able to raise funds for IV treatments, for doctor visits, and for other health-related costs, such as I may require a PICC line the next time I do treatments because my veins are highly scarred from the previous IV treatments that I have received. We also hope that in sharing our story, more people will learn about rare health battles, such as bird mites, that are being fought by people all around the world, and that people will want to be agents of compassion and healing by coming alongside those of us who are fighting these rare health battles. For now, Malachi continues to work as an electromechanical engineer at Lockheed Martin, and we continue to do ministry here in our community and in our church together. We know that ultimately, if we look at the bigger picture of life, God will use our story and He will redeem what we have been through in many ways to bless people in our community and around the world. If our story resonates with you, please reach out and ask us questions or send us an email if our stories encouraged you. We're so thankful for all the people who have joined us and supported us through prayer, through encouragement, spending time with us, and through financial support. So there are so many different ways that you could even be part of our story and be a blessing to us. Maybe we can be a blessing to you as well. God bless. You are loved.